Hello, Hypnotherapist, and again, thank you for having me in your news feed. I want to talk to you today about 3 webpage faults that are costing you thousands of dollars, and they're really, really easy to fix because, like, I've seen how people have talked about how, they've put a lot of money into advertising and then they're just not getting the clients. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I can see where you're struggling. I can see what's happening for you. And so the first one is basically that people are still advertising their ego. They're advertising their ego. They're advertising their skill. They're advertising, their brand name. But what they're not advertising is the problem of the other person, if that makes sense. So imagine like someone goes into Google looking for a hypnotherapist like you, and they're not going to type in hypnotherapist because they're not looking for a hypnotherapist like you. What they're doing is they're typing in their problem into Google. Like they're going to type in weight loss, anxiety, depression, how do I quit sugar? How do I, why is my husband or wife, at me all the time? That's the kind of stuff that they type in. They don't type in, can I find an expert to help me solve this? If that makes sense. So that's all ego. So people are still advertising their ego. So this is something that like my coach has said to me, like about coaches, but I'm saying it about hypnotherapists. He basically said, imagine like some person's kind of like slumped over going, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so mad, whatever it is. And you're like, what's wrong, buddy? Oh, it's because I just don't have a hypnotherapist in my life. I need a hypnotherapist. That's why I'm so sad. And you're like, well, no one talks that way. Does that make sense? So if you advertise like that and say like hypnotherapist, no one's going to care about it. No one's going to come and give you money for your program. Instead, what you need to do is you need to identify a pain that's bothering them. And this comes from like with all the online training stuff. My favorite stuff that I provide is what I call the DDFF. So the dreams, desires, fears, and frustrations. No, I didn't invent it, but I use it because it works. So you identify what's your client dreaming of? What's your client desiring kind of now? What do they fear for the future? And what's frustrating them on a daily basis? And you make a headline about this that attracts them and makes them keep reading. There's what we call the HOC, which is the hook, the offer, and the call to action. And so a lot of people have super, super shit web pages. And I just see it all the time, like the submit button still in the default setting, it's blue or purple or some crazy color, and it says submit. And above it, it says, please enter your message. And it's way too complicated for your client to actually kind of like, to use your web page because like it's just not what they're looking to do. My web page basically has a yellow button that says make an appointment, and it doesn't say like enter your message because like the person who is seeking a hypnotherapist, they're not seeking to kind of write you a message. They just basically want their problem to go away. That's what they want. The person, the client, in their head, they're thinking, what's in it for me? And that's all they're thinking about. So if you're still selling just hypnosis and hypnotherapy, with the headline hypnotherapy or just your brand name, it's the wrong message because people are not looking for that. Hey guys, there's a lot of you like watching today. That's amazing. So it's like that people are not watching. So people are not looking to hire just a hypnotherapist. They're looking to have their problem solved. So the first step, the first way to solve this webpage problem is advertise the problem. Be an expert in the problem. Pick a problem. Is it weight loss? Is it relationship fighting, divorce and stuff? There's a lot of noise outside today, like in Main Street, Croydon. There's like a lot of adults that act like children. When they don't get their way, they're like, rah, rah, rah. And like every business in Croydon could just hear them like just arguing, just yelling, because they're acting like children. It's really incredible. They only come once a day and it seems to be kind of like after school, but they're adults. It's weird. So the second thing that absolutely is costing you money on your webpage is that what's happening is that you potentially don't have a program on offer. You've got a whole bunch of information about a whole bunch of like, YouTube videos that you've collected here and collected from there. But still, like, number one, no headline about the pain, as in like, is your weight bothering you? Whatever it is, like whatever your headline is. But then you don't have a program that says, well, we have a program that fixes that. Does that make sense? And the third one is that people's call to action at the bottom is failing them because they're asking their clients to enter a whole bunch of information and say like, give us your name, email address, phone number, and then give us a message and then hit a submit button. And it just looks bad. Your client is not like when they land on your page, if it says, tell us your webpage, or sometimes like the call to action people have, it just says, enter your details so we can give you just information. But what the hypnotherapist wants the client to actually do is to make an appointment, yet they're asking them to give, to ask for information. It contradicts itself, if that makes sense. Like the web page says, enter your details and we'll give you some information on pain relief. Whereas what you actually want them to do is you want them to make an appointment. So it's like enter your details to make an appointment. So the 3 steps that are really going to save your webpage is the hook. The headline needs to be not about hypnotherapy, it needs to be about your problem. The offer, so the O in hook, so the HOC, the O for hook needs to be basically about your program, how many sessions it has. And if you introduced like a program that had like just 8 sessions of hypnotherapy, you wouldn't need that many clients. Like if you wanted to get like say 24 clients a week, you would only need to sell 3 programs a week, dead simple. And then the third rule is that the call to action needs to ask them to make an appointment. And if you're not doing that, then no amount of spending money advertising your webpage is actually going to get you there. And I hope you know that this is true, that like if you come from the other person's point of view, you'll win. But if you just keep advertising your ego, if you just keep advertising, you know, like your skill sets and just hope that people book in for you, obviously that's not going to work. So the hook, I've been teaching this for years, for 7 years now. The headline, the offer, the call to action. And it's amazing how many people do not follow through with these rules. It's like I can see someone's webpage that I've coached them on, and I'll go, you haven't implemented a single thing, a single thing that I've talked to you about. And they're going like, oh, where's all my clients? You haven't implemented a simple thing that I've talked to you about. The headline, the offer, and the call to action. The headline is about the problem. The offer is about your program, and the call to action is make an appointment. You do that, and then you're actually ready, unless your webpage is completely ugly, then you're ready to actually start advertising to it. And I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that adds value. If you want my, sorry, I just burped. If you want my ebook called the 20 Rules of Phone Numbers and Sales, say I'm in the comment section and I will give you a link to my free ebook that explains these exact rules and has my phone script, has a picture of my Facebook ad that I used to get my first $5,000 a week for just advertising quit smoking hypnotherapy. It has pictures of my webpage and the exact campaigns that I've used, especially in making my first $5,000 week in hypnotherapy called the 20 Rules of Phone Numbers and Sales. So I'm going to go eat some food now because I've ordered some and I'm sure it's going to be delicious. I've got my fork here, ready to go, and I'm going to go eat some food. I'll talk to you guys soon.